Hello everyone, welcome to the week 4 of the health education program. When we say that we want to health educate you, that means that we also are looking to improve your overall awareness. And when we say awareness, it's primarily in relation to the health products that are available out there in the market. There are tons and tons of packaged food products that claim to be healthy, and there are tons and tons of food items that are labeled as healthy. But the agenda for this week is we want to enable you, or we want to empower you to get smarter with food labels, right? So our topic is that how do you read nutrition labels and how do you get more smarter with them? So if you would have observed after the pandemic, after COVID, there has been a big health wave in the country. You will not see any product in the supermarket that is not labeled as healthy. You would find every company is claiming to be healthy. Every company is claiming to be that this is good for your health. Now we are not putting a blame on any company, but as consumers, as a person who is focused on improving his health, as a person who wants to improve his wellness, it's our responsibility to know that what is really good for me, what is really healthy for me, right? So I have three things right in front of me. There are oat cookies, breakfast cereals, and quinoa chips. I want you to take a minute and just quickly decide in your mind which one is healthy, which one is not healthy, and then I'm going to share the result. Cool. So let's take an example. Let's take the first case of oat biscuits. What do you think? Oats are healthy? Yes, oats are healthy. Oats are good for your health. They're complex carbs. They're low on the glycemic index. But are oat biscuits healthy? The answer is no. What about breakfast cereals? Breakfast cereals, the majority breakfast cereals are made of corn. Is corn healthy? Yes. Is it permissible on the program? Not really. You can check with your coach, but for majority of the people, we don't usually recommend consuming corn. But is our breakfast cereals good for your health? Are breakfast cereals good for in the weight loss journey? The answer is no. Right. What about quinoa chips? Right. Is quinoa healthy? Absolutely. We tell you to consume quinoa, but are quinoa chips healthy? The answer is no. What is the problem? I just need all of you to remember this one thing. Toxicity lies in processing the food. Anything that is processed will be toxic. It cannot be healthy. Toxicity lies in processing. As whole ingredients, as natural foods, everything is very good for your body. Mother Nature will not manufacture, Mother Nature will not produce anything that is not good for the human, right? But the toxicity that is out there, right, the food that we are consuming, why so many people are suffering from chronic conditions, the problem lies in processing, right? So majority packaged foods are processed. Hence, a very broad recommendation and a very generic recommendation would be try to eat natural. Don't eat processed foods. But I would say this is easier said than done, right? You cannot stay away from processed foods because you go to the supermarket, there are tons and tons of things that make your mouth water. You go on a travel, you go somewhere, you have to rely on packaged foods. But our goal here is to empower you to figure out which one is the best for you. How do you choose? How do you choose the one that will cause the least damage? So let's understand how do we read food labels, how to gauge that which food product is good for you and which is not. So by the way, in the table that you see, I have labeled the ingredients into three categories: red, yellow, and green. So red means that you should absolutely avoid these kind of food products. So the first one is added sugars. If you see a food item which has added sugar, you should absolutely avoid that, because that cannot be healthy for your body. That specific food item will be very hyper palatable. What does that mean? It means that you would want to eat more and more of that. The satiety level of that specific food item would be very low, right? What is satiety? Satiety basically means that how full you feel after eating something. Just imagine in your mind 5 eggs versus a cake. 5 eggs are very satiating, right? Versus a cake, you can eat 1 kilo, right? Don't eat that, but in your mind, just imagine. You will understand. So any food item that is not satiating, that is called hyper palatable. Whenever food items have a composition where fats and sugars are mixed together, that specific food item is very hyper palatable, right? All the sweets, muffins, your cakes, everything is very hyper palatable because Mother Nature will always combine fat and protein. but humans will combine fats and sugars, right? That is the problem. A lot of people feel that sugar is the poison. Sugar is not the poison. Just imagine eating, you take a bowl of sugar, eat 1 spoon, eat 2 spoon, you'll not be able to eat the third spoon. Sugar is not addictive. When you mix fats and sugars together, that is where the poison actually is made, right? And there is no antidote for that. That is a poison that can really break the harmony of the body and lead to multiple chronic conditions and multiple hormonal balances in the body, right? Okay, the second food item that you should avoid are trans fats. Okay, let me repeat that again. It's not that fats are unhealthy. Fats are not unhealthy. Okay, fats are absolutely healthy for you. But the problem is with trans fats. Trans fats are again processed. Whenever there is something that is processed, it will not be in harmony with nature and it will cause a havoc in the body. All the myths around don't consume fat, the fat phobia that we're going to learn going forward, the actual problem lies in the processing. Trans fats are responsible for all your heart issues, cardiovascular conditions. So you need to absolutely avoid trans fats. The third thing that you need to look for is sodium and monosodium glutamate. A lot of a lot of food products contain MSG. MSG is used as a preservative. MSG is also known for its properties making things more hyper palatable. MSG we should avoid because it kind of stores water in the body. Okay, MSG is responsible for water retention. And you should also kind of avoid foods that are high on sodium because sodium is linked with hypertension. While it's not the complete picture, but somewhat, yes, we should try to cut down sodium that is specifically added in excess quantities in food products, packaged food products. Okay, so the last two are fats and proteins and micronutrients. These two food components you will hardly find in packaged food products. While a lot of companies will claim that they have healthy fats and the proteins that they have are not processed, but you and me should know the truth, right? And when it comes to micronutrients, I had explained you that a lot of depletion happens in transportation and packaging. You know, majority food products are packaged in plastic. So when you're consuming them, you are not just consuming nutrition depleted foods, but it also has a lot of microplastics and plastic germs that also go in the body and disrupt the harmony of the gut, right? So all in all, as a bottom line, if you ask me, you should avoid packaged food products. But if you're consuming them, you need to absolutely make sure that they don't have added sugars, there are no trans fats in that, they are low on MSG, and the best case scenario, if they are high on fat and protein and they're high on the micronutrients. Now I would want to deep dive on the added sugar part. The problem with added sugar is that a lot of companies will not write sugar, right? They'll use either synonyms or they will use alternate names like sucrose, dextrose, maltose, high fructose corn syrup, and the list is so big that there are 43 different names for added sugar. And now I don't expect you to remember all the names, even I don't remember all the names, but the bottom line is, if you find something fishy, if you feel that this might be a synonym of sugar or this is an alternate name of sugar, you can just quickly Google it, and if it is so, you know the answer. You need to avoid that specific food item, right? Now the key thing that we would need to understand is that what happens if we are craving for sugars, because joining the program is not a punishment, right? Working on the health is not a punishment. You should enjoy food, right? You should be able to enjoy the meals that you're eating. So there are a lot of healthy dessert options also available. The first thing I would recommend, you can check out the dessert recipes that are shared with you. You can connect with your coach. He can guide you on the same. The second one that is my go-to recipe is, you take some nuts and seeds, you add them into yogurt, and you just add some berries into it. It's a very great dessert and it's absolutely healthy. So you should definitely go for that. Now what happens if you're craving for desserts? Now being on the program is definitely not a punishment. It's not that you're punishing yourself being on the program. You should definitely go for desserts in between, because that is the best way to break the harmony. Now there are a lot of dessert options that are shared with you in the recipes that we have provided. In case you find some difficulty in accessing them, you can check out with your coach. He'll be more than happy to pop up a few options. Now if you find them very difficult to make, I'll share my go-to recipe. My go-to recipe is, take some yogurt, add nuts and seeds into that, and maybe add some berries. That's absolutely healthy, go to, quick to make, easy dessert recipe. So that is something that you can go for. But the bottom line is that what our goal on this program, that again I would want to remind, is to build more healthy habits, get more aware. So I hope that you are now one level up, you are more smarter with your nutrition labels, and you won't fall for any food product that claims to be healthy but is not healthy. So beware of clever marketing and keep empowering and keep educating yourself. Get biomarked.